Hi friends, it's Becky, and today I'm going to make a simple necklace and pair of earrings using some of the beads that came in the May Gemstone Orphanage box. This is a bi-monthly bead subscription, so we got one for May. There is no box for June except for that tween box that we already saw. So the next box won't be until July, and I'm still working from this. This was the one that we got our agates that were just the druzy agates, so they were multicolored. We had tons and tons of colors still in this box. I have tons of beads left after the other projects that I've already done, but I was going to use these morganite beads and some of these quartz coin beads and then some of these crystal beads that look like the same color as the morganite beads, and then these like rainbow colored twisty bugles, and just make a necklace and do all of that. And I had gotten all of this laid out and I was ready to record a video making it yesterday, and then I saw a video on the Gemstone Orphanage, the Homestrung Jewelry channel, with these links, these omega links. And I stopped what I was doing here and I went and I grabbed my 18 gauge wire and some, these are 8mm rose quartz rounds, because I only have 1, 2, 3, 4. I only had 7 8mm morganite rounds, which is what they used in the video for this, but I wanted it to go with the rose quartz hearts that came in that box. So I just used some of these from my stash, and you can see it is a super pretty bracelet. I'll put the link to that tutorial. It's on the Homestrung Jewelry channel. They just posted it yesterday, and like I said, I made this last night, and now I can make what I was planning, now that I've got that out of my system, and we can do that. So again, I've got the morganite. They are the graduated rounds that I'm going to be working with. The rest of the morganite in here, I'm going to save for a bracelet that I'm going to make at a later date. So I'm going to move this out of the way for now, and we'll go over the rest of the things that we're going to be using for this. I grabbed some fluorite soft flex beading wire for stringing on my necklace. I've got some 2x2 crimp tubes for doing that. The tool that I'll be using for crimping is this magical crimper. It is my favorite way of doing crimps. And then I've got a clasp and a jump ring. And then I've got some ear wires for the earrings. And I've got a chain nose pliers and some flush cutters for wire. And I've also got some 26 gauge wire that I'm going to be using for the earrings, because we're going to be doing one of my favorite ways of combining coin beads with tiny beads, and it's going to be a really sweet and really simple pair of earrings to be able to wear with this. And that's just what we're going to be doing today. We're going to make simple earrings, simple necklace, but they're going to look really great. And one of the things that makes it so simple is that I'm just going to be stringing these beads on in the order that they came in, but I'm going to be popping one of these twisted bugles in between each of them, and it's going to give us a sort of illusion necklace impression when we look at it. And the earrings are going to be really simple. Like I said, it's one of my favorite and most easiest ways to get a fun effect with coin beads and tiny beads. So let's get this started. I'm going to just grab my beading wire, and I'm going to start from the end here with these morganite beads. And actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to save the 4mm for the ends, because it might be that just with the 8 and 6mm ones, it might be long enough once we've got these in between there. And if it's not, then we'll pop the 4mm on the end. So I'm just going to take them off of here, put them on my beading wire, and put one of these guys in between. But yeah, I am having a really great Friday. Well, I guess it's not the greatest Friday. So far it's good. My son told me today when I was like, hey, do you want to order out for dinner? Because I wasn't really feeling like doing some cooking. He was like, well, now that you've been making such good things at home, I haven't really craved anything from any of the delivery places. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, oh, it's the lo mein. It tastes better than theirs does. And it's because I learned how to do pork lo mein at home in our wok, and it tastes really good, guys. It's not bad at all. And I put just the things that we like and not extras that we just might have to pick out or anything. Not that our favorite place does that, but yeah, so when I do that, my son loves it, and he doesn't want to eat takeaway versions of it, which for me is kind of a problem because now I have to cook on the days when I don't want to. But maybe it's not so bad. But do you see how it sort of gives a little bit of an illusion look where you've got the thick and the thin on this necklace, and it gives you all of this space in between our different beads. It's just going to be a super simple but super impactful way of stringing on these beads. But yeah, this bracelet was a lot of fun to make. I made enough links too of this one to do their necklace and earrings. I just didn't get around to putting together the necklace and earrings yet. I just put together the bracelet. And so I'm wearing that today because it is a fantastic and beautiful bracelet, but it's a really easy tutorial that they show you, Deb and Steve, on the Homestrung Jewelry channel. And so if you wanted to make one of these, you could go ahead and do that. Any 8mm round bead is going to work for you in this design, I think. So you can see that, but yeah, I grabbed the tutorial and some wire, and I just sat and watched some TV, and I made some links, and it was such a relaxing evening to spend unwinding after working out. My son and I have started working out because I used to be a competitive powerlifter. So I was used to training a lot, but I kind of stopped when I stopped competing, and it's been hard for me to get back into doing that movement. And I can feel it. I can feel just, I'm not as strong as I used to be. Don't feel as fit as I was. And so I just wanted to work on our fitness and for our general health. So we started doing some workouts, and I'm and in addition to being a competitive powerlifter, I was also like certified as a coach. So I know how to adapt movements for things if you have problems with that sort of thing. So I have been having him do, I know how to do programming. I know how to make sure that you are progressing and all that fun stuff. And so he lets me take care of all of that. I'm his coach mom. And I have him, he's got balance issues, right? So I have him do modified versions of some of our lifts so that he can actually do them and actually get some benefit from them. And I don't think there's anything wrong. There's some folks in like the fitness or lifting community think if you're not doing the compound lifts that you're not lifting or something. But honestly, doing a modified version that you can do is so much better than just not doing anything, honestly. So like if you're not able to do like a standing overhead press because you can't stand for that long or something, doing a seated press is going to be just fine. And you'll see a lot of benefits from doing that. Yep. All right. So this is the length with just the 8mm and 6mm beads. And so I'm going to just check that real quick. And I am going to need some 4mm beads, and I've already got some off of here. So let's do 4 of them. One. maybe 3. Pink next. I love these soft pastel colors. I absolutely adore them. And having them next to and offset by these bright peacocky colors is just so much fun. And a clear one. All right. All right. Yep, that's gonna do it. So what I'm gonna do now is cut off the other end so that I can string on that side. I'm going to use a little bead stopper to keep that from swinging off in case things happen to it, because things happen sometimes. But yeah, I love these twisted bugles. They are so much fun to add additional things to your designs with. You know what would be fun is making some geometric shapes with them. I think I might do that in another video, not in this one. In this one, I am just stringing some beads, and then we're going to have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then another third one. All right. But yeah, I love graduated strands. This is so much fun. Let's see. That is long enough. Yeah, I actually quite like that. It is a little bit on the short side. It's more choker length, which is fine for me because I love shorter choker length necklaces and designs. So let me get these guys out of the way. And we will get our clasps on here. So, simple, easy, perfect for a Friday night design. Just a nice way to start my weekend. You want to start with a win, right? We're going to start with a win. There it is. So I put my crimp tube on there. I'm going to go through my clasp. It's just a regular old lobster clasp. I made sure it works before I started. And then you bend your wire back, put it through your crimp tube. And if it fits twice through your bead, put it through there. If it doesn't fit through your bead, that's fine. And it looks like only once through the bead is going to be what we're doing. So now I've got myself a little bend there. And this wire in particular, you don't need wire guardians for. It's extremely flexible. So bending like this isn't going to cause it to break or cause any wear or anything like that. It'll hold its shape pretty well. And it also has a really thick, I guess, durable nylon coating. So it's not going to wear off very easily. I'm just going to place my crimp inside my crimper. There is a concavity in here that when I center my crimp into that, it's going to squish down the corners, not the center. It's going to leave that there like a ravioli. And then if I move this and squeeze down again, and then just keep squeezing it from different angles, every time I move it, it's going to smush down those sharp corners and leave the middle unsmushed so you have a little ball. Just a little bead of crimp that holds pretty securely, and that's one of the reasons why this is my favorite way of doing crimps, because then you've got your little ball of crimp and it's nice and smooth. It doesn't have sharp edges, so you don't have to do a crimp cover on it. It's just one less step to have to worry about when you're making your jewelry. So that is crimped. Let's do it on the other side. And I'm just going to give this a curve so that this isn't too stiff after it's crimped. Sometimes if you crimp it too tightly, then everything is stiff on your wire. Even if you have a supple and flexible wire, it's just all because the beads under tension cause it to do that. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to do a little more quickly because I don't think you need me to walk you through it twice. If you want me to walk you through it again, you've got a little rewind button. It's super convenient. I'm just popping my jump ring over here. That's what the lobster clasp is going to clip onto. This wire, by the way, I could just leave a loop without that, and I've done that before several times. I wear necklaces like that without a little ring on the other side, and the lobster clasp just grips onto the loop that I've made in the wire. I'm using it for this. Hold on. There we go. Because I feel like it. But if you don't, it's not a big deal when you use the soft flex wire to leave it like that. All right. And I'm just making sure it's centered, making sure there's room on this side between that bead and the crimp so that the edge of the crimper can fit in there before I do my first press down. And that's just going to make sure that after that first press, I can rotate it at different angles and press it out so that I get my little ball of crimp. All right, so that is my necklace. I have to say that is a very nice necklace, and it was super easy to make. I didn't even have to put these in order because they were already in order on the strand. And I've got a few more of these 4mm beads that I can add to other projects if I want to. And if you like your necklaces longer, there were plenty of these beads to be able to make it longer than I did. All right, now let's move these guys out of the way. Scooch in just a little bit. And let's make one of these earrings. I'm just going to do one of them with y'all. I can make the second one on my own. And I'm just going to cut off, let's do, the space from here to here is 6 inches. That's why I'm measuring from the top of this board down here to this space. And that should be enough for my purposes. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some beads on here until I have enough that will fit around my coin bead. And the coin bead has a hole through the center. So let's get these guys off of here and start picking some of these guys up and putting them on. This will take a little bit of time because I can't always find the hole on these tiny, tiny beads. Sometimes it's a little further away than I would like for it to be. I'm trying not to have, you know, two of the colors together, but not really putting them in any particular order when I'm doing this. You could put them in like rainbow order if you wanted. You could do totally random. Usually when you have random stuff, you'll have little accidental groupings or what they call pooling of colors. But I don't want there to be, you know, colors right next to each other, so I'm just taking a look and just not putting some of the same colors right next to each other when I'm doing it. And that's the only nod to random that I'm doing, is just making sure that we're not doing two of the same colors right next to each other. Come on, buddy. These are crystal, so they are just teeny tiny crystal beads, about 2 millimeters, maybe 3, 2 by 3. I think that's about the right size. All right, and that is not enough yet, so we're just going to keep going. And this is the main reason why I'm only going to do one of them with you, is because this part can take a little bit of time to do. After the first one, I'll know exactly how many beads I can do, and I can just put them on there. What you want to do is you want enough beads to go around the outside of your coin bead, without it being too loose. I'm going to press it down and then hold this around it. I think this might be enough. Might be too much, too many beads. Hold on. Is it one too many? Or is it exactly enough? All right, because I want it to be a circle. Actually, I think that's going to fit it perfectly right there. All right, so now that I've got that, I'm going to take these ends of my wire and make sure that they cross over each other like that, and that the beads are on there fairly tightly. And then I'm just going to twist this wire once, maybe twice. One, two, like that. Just to keep that from going apart. And then I'm going to bring both ends of the wire together, kind of straighten them out and pull them away from there, keeping this circle. So I'm holding it up here, not down here. Then I'm going to put both ends of this through my coin bead, like that. And then I'm going to bend my circle up. Hold on, before I do that, let me grab one of these wires and put it down. Just bend it down through the circle. It doesn't have to be folded flat against it or anything like that. I just want this wire to go through the circle while the circle is going up over that, like this, because once it's up here, to keep this circle in place, I'm going to bring both of those together again. And now it's like a little halo, a little wire halo around this coin bead. And I'm just going to give this a little twist. 1, 2. Put these together again. And I'm going to make a loop. Just going to use some looping pliers. You can use some round nose pliers. But I want to make a little loop right up here at the top. And then I'm going to take both of these wires and just wrap it around that stem. I'm just going to keep wrapping until I run out of wires. If it is a messy wrap, then it is a messy wrap. One of these is shorter than the other, so I'm just going to keep wrapping with the other one. There we go. Just like that. So now I've got a loop. Got my halo. And I've got a couple of bits of extra wire poking out here. So I'm going to do a little bit of a snip snip with them. And then tuck in any rough edges. Tuck them in out of the way. Actually, the other way around, I think. There. So now I've got an earring. I will go ahead and make that second one separately. If you want to see it again, you've got a rewind button. You can do that. But there we go. So that is a really quick, really simple pair of earrings and a necklace using the really colorful box from Gemstone Orphanage. And like I said, I'm going to put a link to the Homestrung Jewelry channel, to their Omega link tutorial that they made yesterday. Put a link in the description for that. Also put a link in the description to the Gemstone Orphanage club subscription page. If there are any available that you could sign up, you go ahead and do it. I strongly encourage you to, because it is one of my favorite subscription boxes. It is bi-monthly, so I believe the cost is definitely worth it, because you get a ton of beads as well as really, really great high quality gemstones that you get to adopt and give it a little home and then dress it up in your beads. And Steve and Debbie are fantastic people, and I'm so happy that I got to know them and that I get to make things with these for you. Anyway, I hope you are having a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you later. Happy beading!